Hey, what is up, guys? It is Gospel here. Here to talk more about the combat upgrade, more specifically SWG Restoration's combat upgrade, which has modifications to it that weren't during live. You know, it's an idea that it's like the CU, if the CU had actually continued, if the NGE had never happened. And I figured I would do a ranged profession overview to help out those who either haven't played the CU or are returning to the CU. Ranged works differently than it does in pre-CU. All ranged abilities can be used with all ranged weapons, and so I figured I would go through each one. The first one I'm going to go over is Rifleman. Now, the class requirements have changed from pre-CU to CU. This is something that was actually during live. For Rifleman, you did not just need the rifles tree, which you can see here. This is a class calculator that comes in with the SWG Restoration Launcher. This is that you can use to make your builds and stuff before you actually go them and see what stats and abilities you'll have. But yeah, Rifleman didn't just require rifles 4 and marksman, it also required range support 4. Now some of you might be thinking, oh my god, that's insane. How do you do stuff, you know, how do you have other classes? Well, a lot of like CM and Bounty Hunter and Ranger and all these other classes had like different requirements. They had lower skill point requirements than they did before, so there was a lot more mixing and matching of the classes. So anyways, I want to go over the abilities of Rifleman first. The first ability I want to talk about is very unique to Rifleman. You can prone out. It's called cover. You take cover, a little warm-up bar will hit, and after it goes, you'll be stealthed. So that's the first ability in Rifleman that I wanted to talk about because it's very unique to Rifleman. At the moment, no other classes have stealth. I think Ranger will be getting stealth, but Ranger is not yet implemented, so I'm not going to cover that class today. Anyways, and then the second ability, once you're in stealth, is Conceal Shot, which will allow you, which is another warm-up bar, it's a cast timer, to attack through cover. Now, this actually blew my cover. It doesn't have like a 100% chance to blow cover. It actually has a chance to keep you concealed. Now, normally this ability is only usable when there's in a 20-meter radius around you, there's nobody there, and you have to be prone for it. So there you see I used Conceal Shot and it did damage and did not blow me out of cover. Second ability I'll talk about is Startle Shot. This is supposed to, it says in the tooltip that this is supposed to damage and then delay the opponent, which would be like, I guess, like a sort of silence. And that's just not really working, but you can see it does a little bit of damage, and it's got a cooldown. Not a big deal. Next ability I want to talk about is actually let's talk about aim. So aim on the surface might seem really bad. All it does is you use this ability, cast a warm-up bar, and then it gives you a bunch of accuracy. It gives you like 240 accuracy. Now that might not seem like the big deal. You're just like, well, Gospel, I'm just gonna hit my target more. But you're actually going to hit your target harder because accuracy in this game increases your like the damage you do. So if you have a weapon, right, that's 100 minimum, 200 maximum, it's going to hit more towards the maximum with the higher your accuracy is, and that number is rolled against the opponent's defense. So if they have a lot of defense, you're going to be hitting towards minimum, but if you have a lot more accuracy than they do defense, you're going to be hitting more towards maximum. So let's try it out with Headshot, which is just like the basic ability for Rifleman. It's just like their basic DPS ability. Alright, so in the comment log we see we hit for 427 with Headshot. We use aim, which gives us 240 accuracy. We do Headshot again, and this time we hit for 576. There is no variation in this number. It's not like pre-CU where you'll get random numbers up above someone's head. No, it's very stern. It's very concrete. The math is all there. So with and then, you know, the aim drops off and we hit for 427 again. So aim is actually like a pretty good ability if you can set it up if you don't have anybody on you. The next ability I want to talk about is Kneecap Shot. This is actually, it doesn't do much damage, but it's a slow, and you can see it's on my target there. It's a 20-second slow at max rank, and it's very strong. So this is very good kiting potential if you are playing Rifleman. The last ability I want to talk about, this is actually, from what I understand, I think it's one of the hardest hitting abilities in the game. It's called Sniper Shot, and at the moment I think we can use it while standing, but even so, I don't want to use it while standing. We'll just use it while prone. And it's a really hard hitting ability that if you stack buffs and accuracy and stuff, you'll just like one-shot people if you properly stack it. But I'll show you how much damage it does right now. Oh, it missed. Okay, well, without the accuracy, I think it does like 880 damage with no accuracy on. Also, real quick, I wanted to talk about the weapons as we're waiting for this cooldown. So Rifleman, Carbineer, and Pistoleer, sorry, have different ranges on them. Weapons actually cap out at 65 meters or 64 meters, I think, in pre-CU. Pretty sure all ranged weapons have the same amount of distance that they can attack at. That isn't the case in the CU. Some weapons actually vary. The rifles are the longest range weapons at 65 meter max. The carbines are the medium range at 50 meters max, and pistols at 35 meters max. So you're going to have a totally different game plan depending on which ranged weapon you choose to use. I also believe that rifles are the slowest, so your cooldowns will be longer with a rifle but shorter with a pistol, and so on and so forth. And this matters because, again, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, all ranged abilities can be used with all ranged weapons. So you can get like a really sick build. Maybe you really want this kiting ability from Kneecap Shot with Pistoleer. So you're just like, okay, I'm always going to kite. I want that cooldown to come off faster, so I'm going to use a pistol instead of a rifle. But let's try out Sniper Shot one more time. Okay, it did 880. So that's the hardest hitting ability I have as a Rifleman. And it's really, really good. Being Rifleman gives you access to battle armor. There's battle armor, recon armor, and assault armor. Battle armor is a even split between energy and kinetic, although you can, I think, have specialized layers where you can do one over the other, and it'll be very weak, although I don't know necessarily why you would do that unless you're just limited to battle armor. But yeah, Rifleman gets battle armor. Assault armor would be kinetic specialty, so they're more high in resist against kinetic, weak against energy, and recon armor is high against energy and weak against kinetic. On to Carbineer. I forgot to show the requirements for Carbineer, so I'm recording after I'm just done recording. Yeah, so Carbineer requires the Carbine, Tree, and Marksman, and also range support. And while I'm at it, let me go ahead and tell you all the requirements for Pistoleer. Boom, right there. Done. You got the Pistoleer requirement right there. Pistols 4 and range support 4. Alright, so we're looking at the Carbineer now. I've got his toolbar all set up. So I told one little lie. I said that all ranged abilities can be used with all ranged weapons, except for 2 abilities in Carbineer, and there's probably good reason for it. The first one is full auto area. Now if I hit, it does actually pretty good damage. It's like 560 on my ult there, but it's a cone AoE straight up. Oh, my character's LD. We're gonna have to log him back in 1 second. Okay, we're back. Anyways, so yeah, so the cone AoE, it's pretty good. I kind of understand why it's limited to just carbines. Using rifles with this might be a little too strong, and we don't want that, right? We don't want something totally broken. But anyways, full auto area has to be used with a carbine. The other ability that has to be used with a carbine is suppression fire. This is another cone AoE. It doesn't do much damage. Hold on, let me show you guys again. It doesn't do much damage. It does 149, not very much, but it applies a cone slow on a group. So if you're, you know, if you have a squad leader, maybe he's like running y'all out. You're like, okay, guys, I got this. Let me peel for y'all. You just slow an entire group of people. Then you've got scatter shot over here. Hit that, does 560. It's single target. Then we've got rapid fire. I missed. Let me try it again. Rapid fire is supposed to have be a fast cooldown ability. Does 598 and actually does decent damage, so it's actually not a bad skill. And then also they have crippling shot. So this is just like a big slow that Carbineers have. It's just like kneecap shot, like almost 20 seconds long. The other thing that the Carbineer makes them stand out is they've got charge shot, a ranged knockdown. Boom. Now my character's knocked down, and then I can finish him off. Bah, there you go. Done. Yeah, that's the Carbineer abilities. They have certifications for battle armor as well, just like Rifleman. So, you know, they're going to have that even split. I mean, I guess you could go energy layers if you're like trying to BH or something, but you know, for the most part, you're a shorter range Rifleman with more damage abilities, I'd say, that come off cooldown faster. So you're probably going to have more action problems, considering you're going to burn through a lot of it, spamming so many abilities. But you'll do damage. All right, let's go on to the Pistoleer. All right, so we've got Pistoleer here now. And Pistoleer is actually a little crazy. It's a little unhinged. They actually have quite a few debuffs that is actually super good for ranged people. So I'll just start off with the basic abilities here. We got body shot, right? Just does damage. Oh, we missed. That's okay. It's not like a crazy amount of damage. This is probably, I think this is the highest damage special they have actually. 496. Okay, so we're using a pistol this time around, obviously. Then they've got quick draw. Oh, it missed. That's okay. You know, you can maybe spec for more accuracy when you make an actual PvP template or PvE build. Did 397 damage, not a whole lot. Now, they have Warning Shot. So Warning Shot is a debuff. You hit them with it, puts it on them, and it modifies their defense by -80. Now, you can see we did 496 with our body shot before. Now, we do 562. So Warning Shot, lowering that defense, getting that hit in, it's actually really good. I mean, it doesn't seem like a whole lot, but in the long run, when you're doing either PvE or group PvP and people get a bunch of defense debuffs on them, it's going to actually improve the damage of your weapon, right? So you wanna consider that. Next, then they have I think this is called Burst Shot. Burst Shot puts a stun on the target, although this did not do that. It has a chance to stun. Let me put it that way. It has a chance to stun the target. So we'll do another one. All right, so now we've hit him with the modify accuracy by -40 and -25 melee and range defense. So they should take a little bit more damage. So we'll hit him with the Warning Shot as well. Whoops, Warning Shot missed. That's unfortunate. Wait for that to come off cooldown. Hit it with the Warning Shot again. Okay, it's just not sticking. Whatever. But you can stack the negative defenses and get a bigger hit out of it. Let's see if we can hit big now. Before it was 562. Now that was 582. If you're looking at here in the combat log, hopefully y'all can see that on YouTube. So they have a couple little debuffs. Now the next debuff is really, really strong. It's called Disarming Shot. This enhancement to the Disarming Shot increases the amount of time before an opponent can use their weapon again. It's improved Disarming Shot. So we're going to hit him with it. And right here, it is basically like a 5-second disarm. That's what it is. They can't use any attacks against you. I believe they can still heal and all that. You know, it's not a full-on silence, although they do get this buff that it's called Anger. It makes them immune to daze effects, I think, for 15-20 seconds, something like that. But Disarming Shot you can do for 5 seconds, and for 5 seconds they cannot attack you. It's very useful. Pistoleer might be a big consideration for those who are considering going Jedi hunting and wanting to debuff your opponent. The next one is Stopping Shot. So I just hit him with Stopping Shot. It does a very little damage, 198. But it's a route, and it's a very long route. It's like a 20-second route. Cannot move. You can see like the little red discs there on Monarch. Sorry, bud. You are rooted. You're not going anywhere. And then the next ability we want to look at is Intimidate Shot, right? Like it is straight up. It is what it is. Intimidate Shot. Oh, it missed. It has to land for it to apply. But Intimidate is huge. It's just, I don't know what percentage damage reduction it is, if it's consistent or not, but I haven't done that testing. But I will tell you that I notice a huge difference when I intimidate my opponents. It is definitely well worth intimidating anybody you're fighting against if you have the ability to intimidate. There's only like 3 classes in game that can intimidate, so if you're playing one of those, very big pickup. And then the last one is a knockdown. It actually has a knockdown, but it's kind of silly. It's a warm-up time. It's not gonna use the cast bar. Oh, it missed. It's called Firearm Strike right here, and if you use it, if you land it, it'll knock down your opponent. Boom, there we go. Get bitch slapped. So anyways, that's, oh, and actually it'll hit for kinetics, so that's an interesting thing. Actually, that might be depending on my gun, actually. So Pistoleer, they get access to Recon Armor. Recon Armor, like I said earlier, it's strong against energy, so again, those of you who are trying to fight against Jedi might consider picking up Pistoleer. Hey, I don't know. But, yeah, Recon Armor is pretty hype against players who are using energy weapons. Also, I think that might conclude this whole guide. But before I go, I want to say April 17th, 1 p.m. Eastern, there is a stress test for SWD Restoration. I'm going to leave a link to the Restoration Discord and a download for the game in the description of this video. I'm also going to be streaming it, so I'm going to be leaving a Twitch stream link where I will be streaming the game, and you guys can come say, hey, what's up? Ask any questions. I'll try to answer as many questions as possible. I don't plan on being in Discord with anybody at that time, so I'm just dedicated to chat. And anybody that has any questions, if I have the answers, I'll give it to you as much as possible. Anyways, that's all for today's ranged overview. You might be wondering where are the other classes. I know there's Bounty Hunter and Commando, and maybe something else I can think of at the moment. But the Elite Hybrid professions are not quite done yet, so I'm not covering those quite yet. Next video, when I'm covering professions, will be about the melee classes. I might have healer on its own video for a shorter video. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. I hope this helped you out. Get to building. There's a skill calculator and the launcher, and hopefully y'all are having a great day. I shall catch you all later. Peace out.